Have you ever wondered about the unsung heroes of history?
Hmm.
You know, those figures who operate behind the scenes, but they end up shaping major events with their loyalty and, well, their wit.
Yeah, the ones who don't always get the headlines.
Exactly. So today we're diving into the vibrant and often pretty turbulent Maratha Empire. We're talking 17th century India.
A fascinating period.
It really is. And we want to uncover the story of one of those often overlooked figures, Khando Ballal Chitnis, a genuinely remarkable statesman.
Hmm.
So our mission here in this deep dive is really to unpack his, well, surprising journey. He went from real adversity to becoming this crucial advisor to multiple Maratha rulers.
Quite a path.
It is. And
Yeah.
we're not just recounting events. We want to sort of extract those moments of bravery, his administrative wisdom, that deep loyalty that defined him,
Right.
and maybe use his life as a bit of a shortcut, to understand this vital period of history through one person's experience.
That great lens.
His story's full of unexpected twists. It really is.
Hmm.
And lessons that still resonate.
And it helps to grasp the context, right?
Yeah.
His title, Chitnis. It translates as secretary or personal assistant.
Okay.
But in the Maratha Empire, this was way more than just admin.
Ah, not just filing papers then.
Not at all. A Chitnis was a key administrator, handling vital communications, drafting official documents, managing, really sensitive state matters.
They're right in the thick of it.
Absolutely. And Khando Ballal lived through some of the most turbulent, formative years of Maratha history.
Yeah.
Which makes his consistent influence even more, well, striking.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. He was born around 1660 CE into the Kayastha Prabhu family.
Right, a community known for its administrative sort of scholarly contributions in the Maratha sphere.
But his early life, it had this really dramatic twist right from the get-go. His father, Balaji Avaji Chitnis,
Who was chief secretary under Shivaji Maharaj himself. A
well,
big deal.
Big deal. Was executed for political conspiracy.
That's quite a shadow to start under, isn't it? It truly is. And what's really revealing, kind of surprising actually, is that despite his father's execution,
Yeah.
Khando Ballal wasn't just, exonerated or cleared.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually appointed Chitnis by Sambhaji Maharaj in 1681.
Wow, how did that happen?
Well, the sources strongly suggest Queen Yesubai's protection was pivotal, key to it.
So influence behind the scenes.
Exactly. And this wasn't a given, not in such volatile times. It says a lot about the maybe political pragmatism of the era. It wasn't always about pure vengeance.
Right, they saw something in him.
It definitely underscores Khando Ballal's own early reputation, his perceived trustworthiness, that he could rise to such a vital position even after that scandal.
And he clearly lived up to it. He didn't just hold the position. He quickly proved his worth.
Seems so. Served faithfully, handled all that crucial communication, meticulously recording state matters.
Becoming a close confidant to Sambhaji Maharaj.
Right up until 1689, yeah. But like you said, his story isn't just about being a good administrator.
No, it's also packed with these moments of genuine heroism, personal courage.
Absolutely. There's one standout moment. It's often recounted. Happened during Sambhaji's Goa expedition around 1683.
What happened?
The king's horse stumbled, fell into a river. And apparently, without a second thought, Khando Ballal just dives in, swims into these treacherous waters, and saves the king's life.
Whoa. Okay, that's movie stuff.
Pretty much. But think about the immediate impact of that kind of action on a monarch.
Oh, yeah. Instant trust.
It builds this profound, almost sacred bond of trust and loyalty,
That kind of loyalty, saving the king's life like that. It almost sounds like something out of a legend, doesn't it?
It does. But his real mettle was perhaps tested most severely during that devastating period.
When Sambhaji was captured and executed in 1689.
Exactly. This is where Khando Ballal's role became, well, utterly indispensable.
How so?
After Sambhaji's capture, he was instrumental, truly key in assuring the safety of the royal family.
Right, that would have been critical.
Absolutely critical. He spearheaded the difficult, dangerous task of escorting Rajaram, who was Sambhaji's half-brother.
To the remote Jinji fort. That's deep in the south, right?
Very deep, effectively helping the royal family evade what seemed like certain Mughal capture.
You must have had help.
Oh, definitely. He was crucial in coordinating with other vital figures, Prahlad Naraji, Lingoji Shankar, the Vasaji Shankar, to organize this really perilous transfer of the queens and princes.
And he was recognized for it.
He was. For this critical act, Rajaram himself awarded him a jagir,
Which is like a land grant.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
A land-granted dabhole, a very significant mark of royal favor.
So he gets land for his bravery, but his self-sacrifice didn't stop there, did it? He kept showing this incredible dedication during the really tough Jinji siege that was almost a decade later, 1698.
That's right. During that long, difficult siege, he was the one engineering Rajaram's escape plans.
Always thinking ahead.
Always. He even went so far as to negotiate with Ganoji Shirka, a general allied with the Mughals at that point.
Risky move.
Very risky. And to secure the Raj's freedom, he willingly gave up his own Jagiir, the land he'd just been granted.
He gave up his land.
He did. Think about the magnitude of that, giving up your land, your primary source of income, for your ruler. It shows an extraordinary level of devotion.
Wow.
And it wasn't just devotion, it was combined with sharp strategic thinking in a crisis.
Okay, so after all of that, intense, high-stakes service, these incredible acts of bravery, self-sacrifice, you might expect him to maybe seek a quiet retirement, right?
You might think so.
But did he fade away? Or did he continue to be the sort of cornerstone for the Maratha Empire?
He absolutely remained a vital presence. His service just continued, uninterrupted, under Rajaram Maharaj at 1689 to 1700.
So throughout the whole Jinji campaign?
Exactly. He remained a personal assistant, a senior advisor, and then even after Rajaram passed away, his experience, his reliability, they were so valued that Queen Tarabai kept him on.
During her regency?
During her regency, from 1700 to 1707, he stayed in his position.
And then his final role. This one seems incredibly significant, too, and really speaks to maybe his ethical compass. It sets him apart as more than just an administrator.
You're talking about his service to Shahu Maharaj.
Yeah.
That was from 1707 until Khando Ballal's own death, around 1712 CE. He became a really trusted senior advisor to Shahu.
And there's a specific example, isn't there, about his influence?
There is. A particularly notable one is when he counseled Shahu against acting unjustly. Specifically, when Shahu was considering punishing Parshuram Pratinidhi quite harshly.
So he wasn't afraid to speak up?
Not at all. And this wasn't just a one-off. Sources suggest he consistently advocated for a principled approach to governance.
Like a moral anchor in the court?
Kinda, yeah. Often serving as that moral anchor in a court that was, let's face it, frequently driven by political expediency.
Which must have been common then.
Very common. His readiness to speak truth to power, even knowing the personal risks. It highlights this rare blend he had. Administrative skill, yes, but also profound moral courage.
Which really distinguishes him, especially in that period where integrity like that might have been pretty rare.
Exactly.
So, bringing this remarkable story towards a close, what kind of lasting impact did Khando Ballal leave behind, beyond his own lifetime?
Well, his legacy is actually quite profound. His descendants, particularly Govind Chitnis, and then his grandson, Maharamrao Chitnis.
They followed in his footsteps.
In a way, they continued his work by diligently preserving Maratha history. They're the ones who eventually authored the Chitnis Bakar.
Okay, and for our listeners, what's a Bakar?
Right, a Bakar is a type of Marathi historical chronicle. They're often written in a narrative style, and they give us these invaluable sort of primary insights into the Maratha period.
So his family became guardians of the history.
In a way, yes. Custodians of Maratha memory itself, which is quite a legacy.
So how is Khando Ballal remembered today? What can we, learn from his life?
He's remembered for those core virtues we've talked about. That unwavering loyalty, exceptional administrative wisdom, real bravery, and consistent self-sacrifice.
A powerful combination.
It is. His life really exemplifies how steadfastness, courage, and diplomacy can navigate immense challenges.
So what's the takeaway for us?
His story teaches us about strategic indispensability, maybe. How individuals who operate with integrity and commitment, even from behind the scenes, they're often the true pillars, holding the whole structure, the fabric of states, together.
Khando Ballal Chitnis. His life really is an extraordinary testament to that kind of loyalty, that statesmanship. He consistently puts service above his own game, right from his surprising appointment, despite his family's past.
Yeah, that start was incredible.
To his heroic acts, saving kings, and then that consistent ethical advisory role across multiple reigns. It's just a powerful narrative, isn't it?
Yeah.
How one individual, through sheer will and wisdom, can fundamentally shape history.
And what really stands out, I think, is that people like Khando Ballal, operating away from the direct spotlight, they're often the ones holding the very fabric of states together.
Quiet influence.
Exactly. Truly shaping history through their dedication, their quiet influence, their unwavering commitment. Their strategic importance often far outweighs whatever their formal title might be.
Hmm. So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. What does Khando Ballal's story tell us about the true nature of power and influence?
Yeah, especially when that power is exercised with such unwavering integrity and loyalty.
Even in the most tumultuous, chaotic times, something to ponder as you look at the figures who really make things happen in history.